WozziCast.
G'day everyone and welcome to WozziCast, the most consistently posted podcast in the universe. So, I apologise for not posting anything last week in regards to videos or podcasting. I'm kind of thinking of maybe making this just bi-weekly or fortnightly, because because I'm so inconsistent, it might as well be, with my scheduling. But anyway, the reason for that is last week I upgraded my computer, finally. I put all the parts together, everything was settled. I didn't need to buy anything else. We were good to go. Put them all together, put all the cables in, graphics card, CPU, motherboard, RAM sticks, the whole shebang. So I do it, I turn it on, nothing happens, and I'm like, okay, what the hell? So I put it back together again, turn it on, it does turn on, but then it doesn't do anything. It makes all the noises, all the fans are going off, like all that, but nothing is happening. So I'm like, what the hell? So, I'm trying to fiddle around with it. I'm, taking out each cable and putting it back in, making sure it's all in, and it just won't turn on. So, I'm thinking, well, maybe it's the monitor. So, I take the monitor out, and then I've got, 3 monitors all hooked up to this computer because I'm trying to figure out what the hell, maybe it's this display port thing. But no, none of it works, so I'm like, alright, well, I'll just do a lot of Googling then. So I Google a lot of it, and it's like, alright, well, maybe you've broken one of your parts, which is the one thing I never want to see. It's like when you're looking up on Google, my chest hurts, and they say, oh, you have stage 4 cancer, so sorry. You don't really want to read into it too much, because it makes you nervous, but no, so I look it up, and so it's saying maybe all your parts are broken. So I decided to take out each part one by one to do a test to see if it would work. So I do that, and I take out the graphics card, it doesn't do anything. I take out the CPU, obviously that does nothing because the CPU needs to be in it for it to run. So I'm like, alright, I'll take out the RAM. So I take out one RAM stick, it doesn't work, and then I'm like, alright, well maybe I'll take out the other one and then put the first one back in. So I swap them, and then I turn on and it works perfectly. So I'm like, alright, well what the hell? So I try to put the other one back in, it stops working again. So I'm like, obviously it's this RAM stick. So I don't know what happened to it. I don't know if in the postage it got bumped a bit too hard and it broke, or I accidentally hit it with a tiny bit of static shock, because apparently if you shock it by accident, it will fry the whole thing, which is just absolutely amazing. So, I've emailed the guy who, my distributor, I make it sound like it's drugs, it's just a RAM stick, but, my PC part distributor, and so hopefully they'll contact me soon, and I'll be able to figure out, how I'm going to fix that. So right now, I'm going at 8 gigabytes of RAM, and I'm not gonna lie, my PC is showing it pretty well. So anyway, that's why I can't really record anything or edit. I don't even know when this will come out. I'm recording it on Thursday, just because I've been having trouble getting, the recording gear together. But, if it doesn't come out on a Thursday, then obviously I did have more trouble than I anticipated. So, I'm going to try and edit this one together. Podcasts are easy to do, as I always say. That's why I like doing them, because it's just cool. So, hopefully it'll come out. But we'll just have to see. Anywho, that's the reason why I haven't posted a video. I always try to make at least one video a week, but, it could be helped this time. I apologize for that. Then I got a massive ulcer that was killing me, so I couldn't even talk anyway. So I'm the one thing I'm famous for is not being able to shut up, and this ulcer shut me up. So it was it took away my shtick, it was upsetting. So, but we're coping. Everything is gonna be fine. I'm sure the RAM stick will be replaced, and then we can make videos for everyone to enjoy. So, but that's just life. Life is a bitch sometimes. And I hope that next episode of the podcast, I'm not sitting here and whining about whatever happened to my computer this week. I should just call this Computer Cast, because all I do is talk about the problems with my PC. You know, I should just get a pre-built one. But that is a story for a different day. Because I don't know, it's more of a pride, you know, it's the pride of, like, building your own PC, you know, everyone's like, you know, oh, I build my own PC with my own rig, you know, like, you have those people on, like, online who talk about all their specs and stuff. I want to be able to, like, communicate what my computer is and not just say, oh, it lights up, that's all that matters, because that's pretty much my education in computer technology, like, as of last month. But you know, so I wanted to build it myself. I didn't want to get a pre-built one. Plus, like, I didn't want to, like, have to spend more money than I needed to spend, you know, because I have the case and I have, like, the power supply and stuff, so I just need a few parts. But yeah, no, computers are expensive, people. Sometimes it might just be better to get a pre-built one, because at least you know it will turn on and function. So yeah, I'm trying to do some stuff with my computer, make it run faster with the 8 gig. So hopefully I will be able to edit some stuff. And so, you know, but I have been trying my best, though. I can record audio, so I've been trying to record bits and pieces when I can, when my PC doesn't freak out, that is. But, you know, mostly I've been just, like, watching movies and shows and stuff on it. Like, that's what my PC has become, a glorified, like, DVD player, pretty much, until I can start editing properly. Like, I watched 2 anime movies, like, from the 80s. Like, I watched what was it called? It was called, the first one I watched was called Castle in the Sky. Sorry, excuse my idiocy. And it was on Netflix. It's like old, it's from like the 80s, and I really enjoyed it. It's just about like a movie about a castle in the sky, and people are trying to get to it. Like, it's pretty cool. That's not going to be my thing of the week. Like, I have a different thing for my thing of the week, which is a little surprising, but if you saw the title of the video, then you already know what it is. But yeah, so yeah, I watched that one, and then the second one I watched was called Akira, because I heard like really good things about it. Like, I heard that's like one of the classics, you know, like in the anime world, that's considered to be like one of the classics. That's like, you know, that's like Citizen Kane, or like, I don't know, what else is classic, like Reservoir Dogs, I don't know, something like that, you know. So I tried to find it on like 6 different streaming services, and I couldn't, because apparently no one just had it, and the ones that did have it didn't supply it to my country. So I had to I'm not gonna lie to you people, I illegally downloaded it, but don't tell anyone, don't tell the internet police, because I don't want to get in trouble for downloading a movie from like 1988. That's like a cartoon, Japanese anime cartoon. But no, I really enjoyed that one too. That one was about this kid who had like got into like a motorcycle accident, and I'm paraphrasing it extremely, but he got into an accident, and then the government like sort of retrieved him, and they did some experiments on him, and then he got like superpowers basically, and he kind of went insane. And like he turned into a big blob monster at the end, and then he got sucked into a portal. Like, you know, it's good stuff. None of that was a good sell, I'm not gonna lie. Good thing that I don't review movies. I just stick to like games, because I'm not good at talking about like story exclusively, because I feel like I'll ramble a lot and go on to details that aren't important. But yeah, basically it's a kid who gets superpowers and he goes insane, and a lot of people get freaking killed. It's a pretty epic movie. Like, it's rated like R, which is surprising for me. But, you know, I do remember one thing about that movie specifically. The version I watched had like a really good dubbing, but the original dubbing was apparently one of the worst ones of all time, because, you know, it was the 80s, and like dubbing, voice acting in English for like a dub wasn't really a big thing at the time. So like the original 80s dub was apparently absolutely dreadful. So you can look it up on YouTube and like understand why. See, it's kind of interesting to think about, like how nowadays for like anime and like just cartoons in general from different countries, like dubbing is so like it's usually professionally done. Even now, like, people, sometimes you just get bad voice actors, or you just get like a bad local translation of the script, you know. But like back then, it was kind of like you just got lucky with whoever you got, because they didn't care that much back then, because like, you know, there was no massive high standard as there is today. So, you know, I can imagine the same could probably be said for movies. Like, I'll get into like what I mean by that when I get to Thing of the Week. But like, you know, nowadays it's kind of, you've got certain rules for movies, like make them this long, have this kind of formula, and, you know, like have this kind of stuff. You know, there's not a lot of experimental films that much these days. I mean, like, maybe there is, because the technology is there to be more experimental, but I don't think it's like as much, I don't think it's as groundbreaking as it was back then. Like, pretty much all the groundbreaking, revolutionary stuff was done in like the 70s and the 80s and even the 90s, and now everything is just kind of like taking stuff from that and just modernizing it a bit more. Like CGI is like what is CGI? What was the first CGI thing? Was that like in the 70s or was it the 80s? I think CGI like started in the 80s, and now it's like just insane. But, you know, that's my ramble about technology, I guess, visual movie stuff. I don't know, I like movies. I like thinking about that sort of thing because I think it's interesting, and like it's important to remember the history of film, because if you don't remember the history, then you're doomed to repeat it, as that quote says. So yeah, I feel like now's the time, it's a better time than any, to get into our first segment of the show, which is what you're working on, Aussie. So basically it's a segment where I talk about what projects I've been working on this week. So I don't have a theme song, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to bang on my desk like I always do. So we're going to go, what you working on, Aussie? Yep, so that's the theme song. You like it? I hope you do, because that's pretty much what I'm going to do every episode. So yeah, what I was working on this week, besides from this episode of WozziCast, is I've been working on a retrospective type deal for this new video I'm working on. Basically, it's going to be about a video game franchise where it's a trilogy of video games, and I'm covering like each one, not all in one big video, because that would be like an hour long, and who the hell has time for that? I'm just yawning thinking about it, like, ew, an hour of video? Ew, I'm joking, there's a lot of good hour-long videos out there, but no, so like each part will be done in like a week or a fortnight. I'm gonna try to aim for weekly. I think I might not pull that off though, because not only do I have to play the whole game to completion while recording it, but then I have to write the whole script, and then I have to record the whole script and edit it, so I don't know, maybe... We'll see how long. Maybe I'll even not do them back to back. Maybe I'll like leave them alone for a while and then come back to them later, just to keep it fresh. But yeah, it's I don't really want to spoil it, because it's, you know, it's important. I don't like spoiling stuff. I don't know if it's right to spoil it. I mean, it's a YouTube video. It's not like a big budget movie, but like, you know, sometimes I'm kind of like, well, maybe I don't want to spoil it. But I'm gonna say it's a game franchise called Max Payne. I don't know if anyone's heard of that, but basically, I'd like to think of it. I like to think it's one of those games that kind of revolutionized the industry. You know, a bit like it's like what Halo was for first-person shooters. Like it really like broke ground, if that makes sense. So, you know, I'm going to do a video about it. You know, I hope people like that stuff. If they don't, then I'll be the first one to know about it, because we'll get no views. But, no, I hope people like it. Like, what's the point of making videos if people aren't going to watch them, you know? Well, that's not true. People just make videos for themselves. I make this podcast pretty much just for me. Like, it's almost therapeutic, in a way. So, yeah, that's what I've been working on this week. So it's that. I've done all the writing for it, and... I've recorded the whole game. I actually recorded it before I finished my PC. So like I've got all the footage I need. I just need to do most of the voice work, and editing. So that's pretty much what all stop yawning. I gotta stop trying to talk while I yawn, because it ruins the whole thing. But yeah, most of it is just gonna be editing now, which is always freaking fun. So yeah, so that was what I've been working on this week. I hope you're excited. If not, then I'm sorry. If I like to keep updates on the Patreon, so if you want to be kept up to date with behind the scenes work, I don't know why I started talking like that, then you can check out my Patreon. That's a good plug. I bet you liked that. You probably didn't. No one likes plugs. Anyway, now it's time for our second segment. My favorite segment, I guess you could say. I like this one because I get to talk about what I did. So, I'm having a stroke. I'm actually sorry. My brain just kind of malfunctioned. It's time for our segment, Thing of the Week. Ready? Sing it along with me if you know the words. Thing of the Week. Thing of the Week. It's Thing of the Week. That's pretty much the same as what you're working on, Aussie. Like the same kind of beat. But yeah, it's Thing of the Week. For those who don't know, Thing of the Week is basically where I take a game, a movie, a comic, or even a nice looking cereal box, and I talk about it because, it encourages me to, look at more pop culture or just be more cultured in general as my Thing of the Week. So this Thing of the Week was, and you're gonna find this funny, it's already in the title, but if you didn't read the title, I watched the first two Godfather films, so Godfather Part 1 and Part 2. I didn't watch Part 3, because everyone says that one was terrible, and it was like 3.5 hours long, and I'm not going to waste 3.5 hours on a movie that's not good. So yeah, all up, for those who don't know, each Godfather movie is at least 3.5 hours, so in over 2 days, I watched one each. I watched the first one and I watched the second one, and so that was 7 hours of Godfathering. That was 7 hours of a bunch of Italian people going like, "Hey, yo, you stupid mook, you." That's racist. Aussie, stop being racist on the podcast. That's the one thing they say is don't be racist. You get cancelled. So yeah, I watched them both, and goddamn, is like I did enjoy them, but they are just long. Like I feel like. Keep in mind, these movies are from the 70s, so, like, they didn't really... No one was like, hey, don't make a 3-hour movie, because they didn't know what was appropriate back then. So, like, I feel like you can chop that stuff down for, like, 2.5 hours at least, So, but no, I enjoyed it, though. It's got a lot of filler, but it is good. Like, I can see why people, make references to, like, every single freaking piece of pop culture that ever existed. Like, I'll tell you something, people, if you ever like watch like any show ever, like just watch The Godfather and you're gonna get like at least half of the references that those shows make, because that's like one of those movies that everybody parodies because it's just so iconic and famous. But no, it was just such a good film and I really enjoyed it. I enjoyed both parts. I thought it's a very... For those who don't know what The Godfather's about, because you might not, you might be too young to know what it's about, and that's okay. It's a movie about the inner workings of the... what was the name called? It was a crime family. I completely forgot what the freaking name of the crime family was, but anyway, it was about Corleone, It's I can't say it. I'm completely. You people probably gonna think that I just had like a mental breakdown, but I'm trying to say the word. I know what it is. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I just can't pronounce it. Anyway, it's about a mafia crime family, and basically, it starts off with, it's called The Godfather because the Marlon Brando, who is a very famous actor at the time, he played The Godfather, and The Godfather ends up getting like an attempt on his life, like he almost dies. So, in a result of that, his son, Michael, has to take over the family business of doing mafia business. And so he does that. So, like, he's taking over pretty much. And the Godfather eventually dies, which is sad. So, yeah, they basically try to figure out who, like, tried to kill them. And, like, you know, it's really interesting. I think it's a really good film. You have to kind of watch it for yourself, because there's just so much going on. They have 3 hours and 30 minutes of that stuff. That's like, that's, for those who are, like, for the youngins, that's like Endgame plus, like, a few extra minutes, you know? That's insane. But, no, it was really good. I enjoyed it. Yeah, the only nitpick I can really make is that it's just so long. It's so long. There's so many bits that aren't really necessary for the story. They're just kind of there because I assume the director just was like, yeah, this is my magnum opus, so I have to make a movie that's 3.5 hours long. But, you know, it was good though. I really enjoyed it. And, you know, it's good. I like crime movies. I think I have like a soft spot for them, you know? Like, as much as I don't like crime in real life, I like crime movies, which is weird. That's kind of why I'm also covering Max Payne in my next video, because it's a crime, thriller, detective style situation. At least that's the vibe. So yeah, that was The Godfather. It was really good. Part 2 was also very good. I watched that as well, as I said, and it's just as long, and it's just as good. Some say it's even better. I can't really compare the two, to be honest, because I think they're both pretty good. So, you know, that's my thing of the week this week. I hope you enjoyed it. If you didn't, then just shut up. I'm sorry, I didn't actually mean that. Don't take that personally. It's been a long day. So, man, I actually forgot how much my mouth begins to hurt after a while, because, you know, I took a week off because I couldn't record anything, so I was like, I kind of forgot what it was like to just speak into a mic for 20 minutes and then yawn like I'm doing now. This podcast sucks. Like, seriously, what am I doing? I'm like yawning, I'm coughing, I'm having a stroke half the time. Like, what is even happening? But nonetheless, I appreciate you guys watching. If you're watching this on YouTube, I say watching, if you're listening to this on YouTube, then you'll notice I've sort of changed up the layout, because I looked at the other ones, like, and it looked so ugly, because it just looked like I smashed a bunch of crap together, which I pretty much did. So hopefully this one is a bit more presentable. If not, then I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. Don't hurt me. But yeah, so if you're listening to this on iTunes or Spotify, congratulations. And also, maybe I might not be doing that for too long, because my hosting that I use to host the audio versions, well, this is all audio, but the ones on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, that's my data for my hosting data is like running out. So, like, I'll probably just, you know, fork out money for it. I'm kind of using the free version at the moment because, you know, I don't see too much of a point of paying too much money for, like, a podcast that isn't, like, a big deal, you know? So, I might fork out the $10 a month for it. I don't know yet. I'll have to see. If you want that to happen, then I recommend you go to the Patreon and maybe throw a few dollars my way. You don't have to, because that's kind of scummy to make you. But no, it's good, because then that way you can listen to the post show as well on the Patreon, which I'm going to do straight after this, where I talk about more stuff, and usually more secret stuff. But without further ado, we're getting close to the end here. So as I said, you know, if you want to support the channel, you can check it out on Patreon. If you want to ask a question for the podcast, you can message me on Twitter or Instagram, or you can use the hashtag WozziCast, because I look at that one because I'm sick like that. Or if you don't want to ask a question, then you don't have to. And you can even just use the YouTube comments, because that's kind of what they're there for, right? They're there to comment. So, you know, if you enjoyed it, please like and subscribe. If you're listening to this, then tell your friends about it, or don't. I'm not going to force you. But yeah, anyway, that's pretty much all I got time for this week. I will see you next time, whenever that may be, where we will talk about more stuff. And I will see you later. Goodbye.